Well, a Houston man has been thinking about getting a headstone for his mother and her husband for decades.
But when he finally got around to it, the cemetery told him they were not certain where one of his family members was even buried. And he couldn't seem to get any answers until he turned to Ted.
Art and Mel, this is one of those things that had been on the family's to-do list for decades. They just couldn't get it done, and it frustrated them to no end. Roger Stewart's been thinking about getting this headstone for a long time.
Her husband passed in November 26, 1951.
This year, though, he decided it had been long enough. It was time to get a headstone for his aunt, his mother, and her husband. It should have been easy. They were all supposed to be next to one another in 3 of the 6 family plots at Paradise Cemetery in Northwest Houston, but then
my mother's husband, they didn't show that he was buried there.
So where was he? Roger couldn't really get easy answers.
I went over there. They wouldn't answer me. She said that she was going to call me, which she never did. They wouldn't answer the funeral home, so I decided to get in contact with you.
We finally put Roger in touch with the Texas Department of Banking. Who knew they regulate cemeteries, but they do. That got things moving. We visited Paradise Cemetery too, and after that, manager called Roger herself and gave him the definitive answer he needed.
I watch you, and you always get stuff done.
The cemetery agreed to open up the grave his mother's husband was supposedly in. And although they can't be 100% certain he's buried there because of how much time has passed, the partial answer and some old files from 68 years ago gave Roger enough information. Now the headstone is on its way.
They gave him permission to go ahead and put the stone on there.
We talked to Roger just this afternoon. The headstone has already been made, and he tells us the cemetery will place it on a family plot next week, closing this chapter after a long wait. Ted Oberg, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.